This video will examine a pitch where the pitcher has both feet disengaged from the playing surface at the same time. Rule 247 covers a replant. A replant of the pivot foot occurs when the pitcher pushes off the playing surface from anywhere other than the pitcher's plate prior to the act of delivering the pitch. Rule 612C. While pushing off from the pitcher's plate, both feet may be disengaged from the playing surface as long as they remain within the 24-inch width of the pitcher's plate and do not create a replant of the pivot foot, resulting in the pitcher being farther away from the pitcher's plate. Pushing off with the pivot foot from a place other than the pitcher's plate, resulting in the non-pivot foot becoming closer to home plate, is illegal. Key points from these rules. Rule 247, prior to the act of delivering the pitch. And Rule 612C, does not create a replant that moves the pitcher farther away from the pitcher's plate or pushes off from a place other than the pitcher's plate, resulting in the non-pivot foot becoming closer to home plate. Now let's step through this pitch. At this point, the pitcher has started their pitch. Their hands are separated, while the pivot foot is still in contact with the pitcher's plate. Items to consider. Did the pitch start while the pivot foot was still in contact with the pitching plate, and both feet were within or partially within the 24-inch length of the pitcher's plate? In this case, the answer is yes, and the pitch started legally. The pivot foot is in contact with the ground prior to the non-pivot foot. This is not an illegal action. The umpire must judge that the pivot foot pushes from this point, resulting in the non-pivot foot becoming closer to home plate for an illegal pitch to be ruled. The umpire must judge if the actions of the pivot foot affect the travel of the non-pivot foot, or does it continue on the same path, making this action legal. Or does the pivot foot push from this point, moving the pitcher forward, resulting in the non-pivot foot becoming closer to home plate, which would make this pitch illegal. We must determine if the pivot foot pushes from somewhere other than the pitcher's plate, resulting in the non-pivot foot becoming closer to home plate. In this case, it does not, which makes that action legal. The non-pivot foot is in contact with the ground. At this point, it is impossible for the non-pivot foot to become closer to home plate unless it is lifted again. Once the non-pivot foot has landed and the forward motion to release the ball has started, the pitcher is considered to be in the act of delivering the pitch. Once the non-pivot foot is on the ground and the pitcher is in the act of delivering the pitch, the action is legal. At this point, the pitch has been released and no further actions by the pitcher's feet could result in an illegal pitch. Since both feet are within or partially within the 24-inch length of the pitcher's plate when the ball is released, this is a legal pitch. This is a full-speed replay. This replay is at half speed. This pitch should be ruled legal as no part of the pitching rule was violated. There was no replant of the pivot foot resulting in the pitcher being farther from the pitcher's plate. The pivot foot did not push from any place other than the pitcher's plate, resulting in the non-pivot foot becoming closer to home plate.